Go ahead and get us started, Dee.
Your host for this session is Adrienne Ticky. Adrienne is the founder of Recovery Comes Home. She and her husband have been saving and changing thousands of lives since 2008. Hailing from Delray Beach, Florida, she's got another amazing guest coming right up. Take it away, Adrienne.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Voices of Women Summit 2025. Today, I am honored to be interviewing Dr. Linda Jordan. She is going to be talking to us about no more excuses. Don't let excuses prevent you from living your best life. Dr. Linda Jordan is a highly sought after international speaker, leadership expert, coach, trainer, and author. With over 30 years of professional leadership, Dr. Jordan created LRJ Coaching and Business Solutions, LLC, to help women change their mindset, improve their communication skills, and live their best life. Dr. Jordan inspires clients to illuminate their potential by turning challenges into opportunities so they can have the life they deserve. She helps clients transition from the corporate life to being their own boss. Well, welcome, 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 Dr. Linda. And please, if you would, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into this line of work.
Yes, well, thank you, Adrienne. It's a pleasure to be here. A little bit about me. I am a wife, mother, and about 2 weeks ago, a 10-year breast cancer survivor. And this is what got me here to where I am today. So I worked in corporate America for almost 30 years. And as we all, when we grow up, we're going to, go off to college, we're going to get a job, we're going to work somewhere for 30 years and retire, and life is great. Well, it so happened that for me, it didn't work out that way. I was at 27 and a half years. And as I tell everyone, I was blessed with breast cancer because I was working in this corporate space. I was in leadership and stressed out, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, overweight. And I was doing a lot of traveling and missed a lot of family time, but I was committed to my job. And so although breast cancer is a hard thing to deal with, it took me out of that space so that I could now help other women be their own boss. And I've been doing this for 10 years now.
Wonderful. I resonate a lot with what you just said because I've been 47 years out of my 53 have been critically ill.
Mm.
But I'm still a boss and I'm still a businesswoman. I'm still a mom to two canine daughters,
Oh,
so yeah. So tell me more about what are the three common fears?
the three common fears that we have, we as speaking of all individuals, is that number one is that fear of failure. We all want to be successful. And so when I left corporate, I was scared to death, dealing with surgeries from breast cancer and a reconstruction and trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. Because at that particular time, the organization was going through a restructure. So I was diagnosed on December the 4th of 2014. And then 2 weeks before Christmas, we got the notice that the company's reorganizing. And so I had to decide, do I stay and take a chance on, having my career, or do I make a choice and focus on my life and do something different?
Yeah, and you
So I
focus on your
opted to,
life.
yeah, I opted to make the choice because I didn't want to be told what I needed to do. So I made the choice to step away.
Okay, and so what it
So
would
that was
be
the first fear.
the first fear was the
And
fear of
the
failure.
second, yes, so fear of failure. The second is fear of rejection. Because when you go into business, you're not sure if people are going to buy from you. If you build it, will they come? You have to kind of wonder. So is that fear of rejection? Am I good enough? Who's going to believe in me? Who's going to trust me? So that fear of will if you build it, will they come, came into play for me. And it does for most other individuals who are starting a business, or if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're trying to go for that promotion in the corporate space, is that fear of rejection. When you apply for a job, are they going to accept you and give you that, let you get promoted or give you that position? So fear of rejection is something that resonates with all of us. And then the third fear is that, am I good enough? Oftentimes, we as women, we second guess ourselves and we question our abilities. And so I did that, you know, being my own boss. I was questioning myself. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Have I learned enough that people will respect me as a business owner? And so I kept going for more and more training and doing all this extra stuff, getting certification after certification, and just till the point of exhaustion. And I thought, when am I going to feel like I'm good enough? And so my coach
Right.
said, no more, stop it.
Yeah.
But those are the three fears that we have. And it really hurts us because, it's a mindset thing.
So how do you think that the top three fears feed into the top three excuses that people use?
Well, according to research, the average person makes 6 excuses per day. So think about that. How many of you in the audience, when that alarm clock went off this morning at whatever time it was, how many of you hit that snooze button? Put it in the chat, yes or no. How many hit that snooze button? For me, I probably hit it 2 times this morning. It was a
Yeah.
little chilly where I am here in North Carolina, so I hit the button twice. So I had an excuse, and we don't think about it. So we make excuses, and it averages 6 per day, which equals over 2,000 in a year. So think about that. 2,000 reasons why we are not successful because we make excuses for that.
Wow. 2,000 excuses for why we're not successful.
Absolutely. We make so many excuses. And the number one excuse that we make is that we don't have enough money. We don't have enough money to do the things
Yeah.
that we want to do.
I feel like that resonates a lot with women entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
Really owning their own value,
Yes,
charging what they're worth,
sure, absolutely. Because
being comfortable with the money.
exactly. And I've done it myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't charge someone that amount because I get personally attached. And so not enough money is one. The second is we don't have enough time to do the things that we need to do. But we as women, we can do a lot. I mean, we do a lot as it is, but oftentimes we tell ourselves we need more time. And so then we have an excuse for not doing something. But at the same time, we're helping everybody else get things done. We're just not focused on ourselves. So we make an excuse. And sometimes that's because it's that fear of success. So we divert and do other things. So we come up with these excuses. And then the third excuse is that we either don't know how to do something or we don't know who to reach out to so we can get something done. And so it's really important for women to network together so that we can build each other up.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point that you just made there, that we network together. None of us was meant to do this life alone, and we
No,
all need help.
we all need
Like
help.
being in business for yourself can be a very lonely venture.
Oh, yes, it can be. And
Get an
when
accountability group or a support group or
group,
or a
right,
brainstorm group or whatever kind of group you
something.
need.
Because if you don't, then we find ourselves maybe doing the laundry, throwing something in the crock pot for dinner, or running to the grocery store to do an errand because what I'll do that later. And they just pile up. And then the next thing you know, it's Friday and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't work on my business or I didn't work on myself.
Now, how much do you think that the excuses are maybe a little lack of clarity around purpose or around what's a priority?
It is probably the number one reason because when women go from the corporate space to entrepreneur space, it's a mind shift. And
Yeah.
so you have to be mentally prepared for that. And if you just jump right into it, sometimes it works, but sometimes you have to have time to be mentally prepared. Because when you're in the office, regardless of what your job is, someone else is the bookkeeper or the accountant, someone is the administrative assistant, someone does your the taxes for the corporation, someone takes care of the scheduling, billing, everything. But when you're your own boss, you are all of those things.
You're it. I hear you on that. You are it. The buck
You are
stops
it.
here.
Right. And you've got to figure it out like 6:30 in the morning. As soon as your feet hit the ground, you've got to figure out what's my day going to look like? Where am I going to spend my time? Who am I going to connect with? Who's going to pay the bills? Someone's got to take care of all of that. And then you still have to be a wife, mom, sister, or aunt, or whatever that role that you're in. You still have to play that role, or grandmom. You still have to do all of that with all of this running a business.
And balance comes in here to play a lot.
Absolutely. And if you're not good at balancing, you may struggle. And that's why sometimes we as women may come up with an excuse because we're thinking, I can't get it done. There's only one of me. And who am I going to share this with? So the excuse is, well, I'll do something else and that'll make me feel better. And I
Yeah.
did that as an entrepreneur. I was struggling. I was just floundering. I couldn't figure it out for myself. And I finally realized I needed help. So I started going to different women's groups. I got a coach because I had to change my mindset. I knew what I wanted at the end. I just didn't know the journey and how to get there.
How to get there.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? Like we're so good as visionaries and seeing in detail what it's going to look like and what I'm wearing and the shoes that I've got on. But today,
Yeah.
what? Okay, I know I need to shower and brush my teeth. What's next?
Right. What do I do after that? Who do I call? Where do you get
And you
those
didn't,
leads
these are
from?
not things that are taught in school.
They're not. They're not taught in school. And so, since COVID, it's even worse because people are still trying to connect with each other. And so that's why it's so important to have women network groups, whether it's, your local chamber of commerce or it's the women's group at church or the women's group at school or a business organization, whatever that is, we have to connect with each other.
Yeah.
It's like I tell people this, and I keep this in my office. I tell women that we have to work together because we need to make sure that our crowns are on perfect. We don't need to be knocking them off of each other. We want to make sure that
No.
all of our crowns are perfect and we support each other to help each other get to where we need to be. But sometimes we struggle and we knock off that sister's crown because we think they're getting ahead of us. But there's so much pie for everyone. We all just want a little slice.
It all works so much better if we adjust each other's crowns rather than knock them off.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, talk to me about the five-step formula that you've come up with.
Yes. And this was derived from me trying to figure out all the stuff that was here on my little sticky notes I have and pieces of paper that I've gone to or meetings, and I've got all this stuff. And I'm like, what do I do with that? How do I get from point A to point B so I can get to that ultimate goal? And so the first step in the five-step formula is having the right mindset. And you brought that up earlier. We must have the right mindset. We have to be positive. And it's an old phrase, cliche phrase. How do you turn lemons into lemonade? But that's what it's really about. Because if we're not ready to be a business owner here, we can't be a business owner anywhere because we're
No,
not
that's
mentally
right.
prepared. And it's hard work. So I tell people, you may have the heart and desire to do it, but you've got to have the right mindset because from hard work, we have hard work. So there's the two. You're going to do it from the heart or you're going to make it hard. If you do it from the heart, it will always come to fruition. But if you make it hard for yourself, you may not get to that journey that you really want to get to.
Right, right.
And attitude is so very important. We make a choice of what our attitude is going to be for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come across someone who's going to maybe turn that lemonade into something else because they're just not happy, we've got to make sure that we're in the right mindset that we say, it's okay, that person's having a bad day. And I tell people, don't put someone's monkey on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do
Protect
that.
your energy, right? Protect your energy.
Absolutely. Got to protect your own energy. So that's the first step in the 5-step formula is focusing on the mindset. And I teach my clients to make sure that they are mentally prepared. Because if you come to a session with me and you're focused on my grocery list or things I got to do, you're not giving yourself time. So you're doing a disservice to your own self.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. So you got to be mentally prepared.
And what's number two?
Number two is setting goals for yourself. Because once you have the right mindset, then you can really start to set goals for yourself, whether they're smart goals or you just put it on a piece of paper, stick it on that refrigerator, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You have a goal, you want to achieve it. Now, I tell people, don't come up with this nice fancy list with 25 goals because you won't get them done. You just won't. And that's what happens to us when January 1 comes around. Yeah, we're all going to lose 20 pounds by summertime. We put too much pressure on ourselves. Let's just say, hey, by quarter one, we're going to lose 2 to 3 pounds. And that's doable. So we need to set ourselves up for success. So I tell people, list no more than 3 goals that you want to accomplish by either, say, by quarter two or by quarter one, but make it so it's obtainable and then add to your list. And then you have to really figure out what's your why. Why are you doing this? You have to have a reason why.
Yes, the why is the driver. It's so important.
The why is the driver. And for me, when I started business, my driver was my daughter. I wanted to make sure that I left a legacy for her. And so that's the driving force for me. Every day I get up, what do I need to do differently to make sure that I'm leaving a legacy for her so that when I'm gone, she can carry on. So you got to know what your why is, and it's got to come from the heart.
And
Step number,
number
go
three,
ahead.
right?
Yeah, go ahead. But what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say number three.
Oh, yes. So number 3 is about consistency, discipline, and being committed. For consistency, you have to have patience. You have to have smart goals. I tell people when it comes to consistency, it's like planting a flower. You start with a seed, just, dirt, the seed, and you're going to water it. And so you have to be consistent when you're taking care of that plant. Because if you're not, weeds are going to come around it, and weeds will suck out the life out of that plant. And oftentimes, when we're in business, we need to make sure that we protect ourselves. So there could be weeds coming around us, distracting us from what we need to do, or giving us negative energy saying, why are you starting a business? Why don't you find, a 9 to 5 and that's secure? And sometimes, unfortunately, it could be our closest people to us. So you sometimes have to treat yourself like you're planting a flower and you want to see it grow and develop. So nurturing ourselves, watering ourselves like you water a plant. You're going to water yourself with, positive energy, education, things that will make you feel good about what you're doing rather than listening to, as I would say, negative Nancy on your shoulder saying, that's not a great idea. You're going to go bankrupt. You're not going to make
Yeah,
any money.
yeah. Those voices that are saying, well, you're stepping on your own cape.
Exactly. So you got to get rid of all of that.
Got to get rid of all that.
Yeah. Be disciplined so that you can overcome challenges and be committed so that you can remove those fears and remove those limiting beliefs.
Okay. And what about number four?
So when it comes to step 4, now that you've done all of that, you can now start to stimulate that mindset because you got positivity going on, you've got positive energy, you know what you want to do, you have your goals. and you're ready to take charge. And so you want to get out of the comfort zone because sometimes you still may fall into that comfort space because it feels good. So I want you to get out of that comfort zone and to get into what I call a learning zone or growth zone. Learning zone is all about nurturing ourselves. You know, education in whatever aspect that you want to get into is so very important because once you learn something, no one can take it from you. And then growth
Right.
zone is really about networking with other like-minded individuals that will help you learn things, show you things that you may be struggling with. And you never know that who you're going to meet and how that person can make a difference in your life.
Yeah,
So that's what step four is about.
I believe that I believe we meet people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Or a lifetime. Absolutely. And if we think about it, we probably know some of those people that we met years ago and they said something to you and it just stuck with you. We
Yeah.
all have met someone in our life that way, and it just made a
Or
difference.
somebody says something and then somebody 10 years later will say it in just a little bit of a different way. And you're
Different
like,
way.
that's what they were talking about all those years
Exactly.
ago.
Exactly. And that's when we were starting to grow and develop, and you're starting to really be that true business owner because it takes a lot of work. It really
It
takes a
does
lot of
take a
work,
lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts.
a lot of moving parts.
I
And then
think
the
that's why
fifth
they
step
don't
is
tell you all about them in the beginning because nobody would
exactly.
start. They'd be like, I'm out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then step five is really about taking action. And what I call it, I always ask people, so in the chat, what is your GPA for success? And people like, GPA for success? Yes. What is your GPA for success? And for me, I call it bet on myself. B stands for believing in who you are. E is for being excited about what journey that you're going to be on and where it's going to take you. And then T is about making sure that you take time for yourself and you take action. So bet on yourself because if you don't bet on yourself, no one else is going to do it. So you have to bet on yourself because remember this, people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan.
Right.
And if you
That's so
do all
true.
those things, if you do all those things, you will be successful. So enjoy those small moments of success. Because oftentimes we as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves and we want to get to that big, grand point of success. But enjoy the small journeys along the way. Enjoy the small journeys along the way.
That's harder to do than to say for sure, right? But celebrate your small wins. That's something that I know that I have to do in my life to keep my own cup full.
Yes,
So I hear that you have a free gift for us.
I do. The free gift is it's a
Elevation
15
of
minute
the mind.
elevation of the mind. Yes, so it's an ebook and it's all about the mindset. So I want women and men to really elevate the mindset. And it doesn't necessarily have to be going from corporate a job to an entrepreneur. It's about changing our mindset for growth in all different aspects. So whatever your aspirations are, we have to have the right mindset to get there.
And so the link has been dropped in the chat. If you guys could just click on that for me and just drop a got it in the chat or link works, something so that I know that that link is working. And while you're doing that, I did want to let you know that we have our next guest coming up is Dr. Tricia Working. It's on the fur agreements, lessons in consciousness from the animals, a conversation around the sacred contracts that the animals make as they come to us and how it is no coincidence. So that is coming right on up. I see people are saying in the chat that they got the gift. Um,
Awesome.
they got the gift. Great that it's working. A lot of people made excuses for not getting out of bed, though.
Oh, wow, wow, yeah.
So I
So,
think that was back when we were talking about the snooze button.
oh yeah,
Didn't
absolutely,
get up.
absolutely. Now can't get up. But as my mentor Les Brown says, too many of us are not living our dreams. because we're too busy living our fears. So I want
Yeah.
all of you that are listening to remove those fears so that you can illuminate your potential and live the life that you deserve.
So give me, if you could give all of us in the audience here a final thought, express gratitude or encouragement and praise, then what would that be?
That would be number one, life is short. And if you have a dream, you have a desire of something that you really want to do, and you believe in yourself and you know that you can do it, then go ahead and do it. It's just like when you have children or grandchildren and they're just starting to walk and they're struggling, you're holding on to furniture along the way and you're cheering them on. I want you to do the same thing for yourself. When you're learning something new, you are holding on to other things, other people. You may be holding on to limiting beliefs. You may be holding on to fear or holding on to excuses. But at some point, just like that little child that's trying to learn how to take that first step, they all of a sudden let go because they feel comfortable. And we, as individuals, we as women, need to sometimes let go. And for those that, if I offend anyone, I say let go and let God take over so that you can live the life that you deserve.
Well, we so
Thank you.
appreciate you being here. This has just been a wonderful conversation, Linda, and I'm so happy that you came on and we
Oh,
had this
thank
chance
you.
to talk.
It's been a blessing and a pleasure.
Well, I appreciate that. And so I think that we will see you back at the bottom of the hour. I'm
Mhm.
your host, Adrian Ticky. Cheers.
Wow, that was an amazing speaker. For replays of this talk and all the talks, plus an incredible gift bundle, upgrade to VIP now. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, you can always email our support team at support@voicesofwomensummit.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic speaker coming right up.
Hi. Nice to meet you.